handle that. You're fine. It's fine.
Right.
You know, and in that process, he taught him how to make their own lunches for school. And that's something that they continue to do. So he was still trying to quietly find ways to make things helpful for me once I integrated myself fully back into the home,
That's good, yeah.
which was such a blessing. So that's why.
Hello, and welcome to Unpacking Motherhood, where we talk about all things motherhood, from the uncomfortable conversations about postpartum and bringing baby home and everything in between. Kids, husbands, we don't leave any tables unturned. Oh, we try not to.
We shake them too.
Shaking the table. Pull up a table. We decided that today we are going to talk about postpartum and how to prepare for your postpartum period. 'Cause a lot of times we prepare for our wedding, but we don't prepare for our marriage. We prepare for the birth. We have a baby shower, but we don't prepare for the aftermath. And the aftermath is where it's about to go down. That's where it all goes down. So if you don't prepare for postpartum, you're in for a rude awakening, to say the least. So how did you guys prepare for your postpartum period? And was there a time where you didn't prepare and you wish you did?
Oh, absolutely.
We learned from mistakes.
Every
so learn
child,
from our mistakes.
Yeah,
Every
every child
child.
you get better.
Every child.
Yeah, I mean, first baby, Chris took 2 weeks off. I'm thinking, of course, I need 6 weeks, but he just took 2 weeks off. We were good. Honey, that first day by myself, when Chris went to work, I was terrified. I felt like I was not ready. Even when it was time to leave the hospital, I didn't want to leave.
Oh, I know that. Ooh,
Yeah, I didn't want to leave. I was like, I got all this help. I ain't going home.
Right. The nurses just keep coming in.
Yeah. Nope. Because I don't have no nurses and nobody checking on me. None of that. But I didn't really prepare for postpartum the first time around. My mom, again, always has been, was extremely supportive as much as she could. She pretty much was there daily. She would come in between her patients and come see me, bring me food. But it wasn't like this is what we're doing. Second baby, I said, okay, this is what I need y'all help with. You know, Chris, I'm not moving for at least 2 weeks. I'm only coming out this room to bathe.
Right.
I need my meals brought to me. I need this done. Mom, do what you can for me. That baby was born in August. So, I started homeschooling. That was Ava's first year homeschool. I started homeschooling her in the bed early postpartum with me. So I had already printed off stuff, had stuff ready to go, and I had a little folder when it was just her of what we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Keep that by the bed, pull it out with her pencils and her little lap desk. We'd knock out homeschool in like 20 minutes. That's the beauty of homeschool. It doesn't have to go all day. You know, have a smoothie for the day when it was just us and we were by ourselves. I would sip on that all day and just lay around and pump. And, you know, it was kind of sort of laid back, but it was still extremely stressful. There was a lot of different things that happened with the second that caused it to be very stressful, and some things that me and Chris just weren't prepared for emotionally. Just didn't have good understanding on. Again, every round goes higher. Third baby comes around. I hire a postpartum doula, hire somebody to help with homeschooling this time. Fourth baby, hired a postpartum doula, again, the same one, who we just talked about that. Hired her again, and I let everybody know that I'm not doing this. Even my midwife said, you know, the 5-5-5 rule, was it the 5-5-5 rule? 5 days in bed, 5 days off, like on the edge of the bed, and then 5 days moving around, and then you can start making your way downstairs. So I think that was how it went. And so them laying the law before they leave too, it was nice because I didn't have to do it this time.
Yeah.
You know, because I always have the meetings like, okay, this is what it's going to look like for a while. Like I told Chris, food is your domain. Don't come up here asking me what y'all are going to do for dinner, because my diet is going to be different from yours for a while. I ate completely different from everybody for at least 2 weeks. Kept my food simple, hot, warm, wet. You know, I teach that in the postpartum doula trainings too. So don't come up here burdening me with what you're gonna feed them children. Handle that. You're fine. It's fine.
Right.
You know, and in that process, he taught him how to make their own lunches for school. And that's something that they continue to do. So he was still trying to quietly find ways to make things helpful for me once I integrated myself fully back into the home,
That's good, yeah.
which was such a blessing. So that's why I said I feel like we both get better with each baby. So in the beginning, no,
Yeah.
we were not prepared at all. But we learned to prepare more each time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Postpartum, you know, we talk about before you say I do.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about it enough. But before you say I do, people talk about kids. Like, oh, how many kids you want to have? You
That's
know.
like where it ends too.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
Nobody's talking about what you go through.
Talk to some old heads. Talk to some seasoned mothers, parents.
Seasoned millennial mothers, because if you
Yeah.
talk to seasoned parents, they're not going to talk about what they went through because they feel like that's a given and you'll be
It's the
fine,
mom's role.
and
Right.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell you about that because
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even get it out.
No, I feel like we need to prepare postpartum, and you can prepare your postpartum before you say I do.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this episode on Netflix where the dad was pressuring the mom to have a kid, but he was like, but I'm not changing diapers.
Oh.
So what are we doing?
Exactly.
So what are we doing?
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, okay, I mean, if that's not, you don't want that to be your role, but I mean, will you like not ever change your diaper? But what else are you willing to not do?
Yeah, what else is
Right.
not your thing
Right.
that I need to go ahead and know
Because
about?
maybe-
Because it's not just there.
Right, maybe me being a mom is not our thing because I'm not about to do this by myself. I didn't lay down and get myself pregnant. So all the pressure, but he was like, I don't do diapers. And I was like, that's definitely a red flag. Like,
But there are men out there that don't.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
Yes.
we are a unit. We create this child together. So whatever icks you have, get over them.
Get over it.
Yeah.
You gotta get over it.
Yeah,
get over it.
All of this is not about to be on me.
Right.
Listen.
Enough is on me that you don't even see
Mm-hmm.
in early postpartum.
Yes.
Right.
Like there's, it is, I don't even think that with 3 different perspectives and you having such a beautiful way with words, I still don't think we can fully articulate the
No.
weight that is on us in early postpartum. That shit
No.
is so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so heavy in so many ways, and you have so many things to worry about. And I think it's also that crazy cocktail of hormones that's in your body. You're trying to find balance. Like you go from being completely full to just absolutely empty. You literally feel your organs moving around and going back into place. Can't even poop for a
Right,
while.
to taking your
I mean,
That's crazy.
scary
Yeah.
thing.
Properly bathing.
Because I
But-
remember having, with Eli, a cesarean. And I had an emergency C-section cesarean. And I remember waking up the next day and having, like, going to the restroom and just that feeling of not having the baby.
Being
and just,
empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cried. I was just like, nobody talked about this. Like, one, I wasn't prepared for the cesarean. 2, I wasn't prepared for how my body was going to look after the cesarean. And I cried. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is not it.
It feels weird to walk too. Like I remember just being
Yeah.
all shaky, and
Yeah.
like this last birth, I went under, so I think I fought them, and literally I felt like I had like muscular like dystrophy. Like I felt so weak, I could hardly lift my leg to go up the stairs. And after 2 weeks, we had to go home, not go home, go back to work. And I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Like,
Right.
how am I gonna safely carry my kid up and down the stairs without, you know?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm holding on to my kid and that we're both safe. And so for me, it was planning my entire day to be downstairs. God
Yeah.
forbid I needed something upstairs, and I'm not gonna put my baby down.
Yes.
Yes.
So
With
many-
the second baby, we
Yeah.
had steps. We were literally in the neighborhood right in this backyard. And when Chris would kind of try to prep me as much as he could for the day, and leave it upstairs.
Yeah.
And I would just try to stay upstairs as much as possible when
Yeah.
I was by myself.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Can we also talk about the the time off that the dads take, whether it's a lot or it's a little.
Yes.
It was I think it was a week. I could be wrong. I think it was a week with my first, and then 2 with my second, and then with my third, I think it may have been a month, maybe. And this last one, I want to say Chris was home with me 3 months.
So
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. With my first, I think Terrell maybe had a week or so, but my mom had come down, so she came down literally probably about 2 weeks before I even went in, not knowing we were gonna have an emergency C-section, and she was able to stay with us for 3 months.
Oh, that's awesome.
So. Yeah, y'all, I cried when she left.
I know you did.
I was at the door like, you ain't gotta catch that flight.
Yeah,
like,
please don't go.
Please not go.
Yeah.
And then with our second, he actually worked for the bank. And this is when things kind of started trickling in with TD and Wells Fargo, where they implemented 6-week paid vacation for fathers to take. And I think it's like 12 for moms.
Yeah.
And so that was a lifesaver because we didn't know if my mom was going to be able to make it or not. And she ended up being able to make it, just not staying as long. So that was a breeze because I know a lot of times they say going from that 1 to 2 is the hardest transition. And I was like, luckily I had help. So it wasn't that bad for me.
1 to 2, yes.
Yeah. And so then going back to the third, and Terrell, literally, he didn't even have a full week off. He had a few days.
What?
Yes.
It was such a blur. I'm still trying to process if Chris was home 3 months. Was it that? Look, we was kind of in the trenches together. I don't even remember. I think it was 3 months.
It was 3 months. I think it was 3 months. It was a good.
It was a blur though, because it was so hard.
It,
postpartum is such a challenge.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially with you sitting up pumping.
Right. It's so much going on.
And you're not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot. That's a week though?
Yeah.
Was it? You said it wasn't even a full
It
week?
wasn't even a full week.
Because
that Sunday,
livid.
He was leading worship. Yeah. So,
Livid.
Yeah. And then
That's tough.
with Hannah, it was the same way. I think he might have had a week. She was born on a Sunday, so that's how he got that.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And then with Matthew, he took off. And we also had a postpartum doula with Matthew. And so that was a good help for us during that time as well. But
talk about how lonely it feels in postpartum.
Yeah.
Even though you may have help, it still feels
you still don't
extremely
know.
lonely. Like,
The
what
fact
is that?
that you have to sit there, you have to be okay with sitting.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
And we all have, I don't care who you are, you have an issue with being in that bed. And that's why you want to get up and go work out or walk around the house or go outside and walk around. No, sit down, lay down.
I was raised by Ginger. We lived in the bed. That was not a problem for me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Girl, I struggle.
Till this, like, we sleep all day,
Yeah.
take a bath, eat, get back in bed. And that was
awesome.
Fine with me.
Right.
That was fine. To be able to do that again, something I did as a child with my mom.
Yeah.
Please.
That's
But it
good.
was still, you're alone with your thoughts.
Yeah.
No one in the house is feeling what you're feeling, going through what you're going through.
Yeah.
So it's still extremely lonely. And I feel like maybe our spouses might get a little offended when we say that we're lonely. It's like, I'm here.
Right.
No, I see you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's extremely
Or it's not, I'm
lonely.
working, I have to work.
Yeah. It's extremely lonely.
I think about preparation for the postpartum and thinking about postpartum doula, getting postpartum doula services. So one of the things that I have encouraged clients to do is to set up a fund if you can afford it, because I feel like affordability is relative. Even if you can have someone come like once or twice a week, like I remember you came to visit me at least once a week during my postpartum period, and it was very helpful just to have you there to unpack with and something you write in your budget. Like, we budget for a baby shower. We budget for these fancy cribs, which you don't really need, to be honest with you, but maybe that baby can sleep on you. We co-slept, but honestly, preparing for that postpartum period, not only in conversation, but getting a plan of action. So, like, I created within my registry a used baby list, and people contribute to my doula fund.
Yeah.
They like literally like invite people in to tell your village how to be a village.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to guide them, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'd
So-
rather pay for your doula than buy you diapers.
Mhm.
Or pay for your doula than to buy an
The
outfit
toys.
that you may not wear. Like,
Right.
don't buy my kid a piece of outfit. You know they're gonna be born in April or March.
Right.
So I really feel like how we prepare for the postpartum period is key.
Right.
We prepare for the birth, but preparing for the marriage, which would be postpartum, so imperative for our mental health. So I like that. I think it would be something that we could continue to talk about. This conversation could go on and on and on and on and on. Well, we will dive into the different parts of postpartum, but
Right.
I really think that we've left you guys with some good feedback, some good tips on how to prepare.
Fire starter.
Yes.
Some good
We like
foods.
shaking
Yes.
the table, but
Yeah.
however you guys choose to give birth, think about the postpartum period, because you want to think
Yeah.
about not only how you want to give birth, but also what do you want your postpartum experience to be like.
Yes,
that's
and
important
the
to think about.
first 41 days are extremely
The
important.
first 41
How
days.
well you are taking care of those first 6 weeks, those first 41 days can truly affect you the rest of your life.
Yes. And if it's a cesarean, the first 12 weeks.
Period. Period. Period.
Oh, Lord.
On that note, we will talk to you guys later. Thank you for tuning in to our episode. We hope you found something. Like, share, comment.
Play
We would
this
love
for
to
your
see-
partner.
Yes.
Start the conversation.
Yes. Yes.